Lord Provost, Lord Lieutenants, General Sir John Macmillan, General Kennedy, Colonel Sloan, Major Ross, distinguished guests, Gordon Highlanders, ladies and gentlemen. I don't normally stand these days, so if I fall over, forgive me. In fact, you could laugh even. I also want to make a special welcome to Mr. Richard Price, who is the Senior Director of the Robert Love Foundation. Bob Love was a friend of mine. He was a Gordon Highlander, and he was a remarkable person who has been very kind to the regiment through his foundation. We're very lucky. And Richard, thank you for taking the trouble to come all this way to see us. Thank the rest of you for coming all this way. And for those who had a very good night last night, I do congratulate you being here. Absolutely amazing. Anyway, it's very kind of all of you to come, and the wives. And without the wives, I don't know what we would do. On a second note, I wouldn't be able to go. Today is both a sad but a proud day. We're 227 years old. We've 48 honours on the 38 battle honours on the colours, plus a tiger and a sphinx for its distinguished service in India and Egypt. We've also served in Malaya, Cyprus, Eoka, Borneo and Northern Ireland. This is our last major reunion, but not our last reunion. We're nay deed yet. And I want to look at our sort of assets and how we will cope with them in the future. First, we were and are and always will be Gordon Highlanders. What an honour to be part of a world-famous regiment, described by Churchill as the finest in the world. You were and are special, and you always will be. Second, we were honoured to have His Royal Highness Prince Charles, Duke of Rothesay, as our Colonel-in-Chief, who was so good to us and has remained patron of the museum. Next, we have an active regimental association led by Major Ross and Major Irvin Fortescue, who is our excellent regimental secretary. We have active branches of the association in Aberdeen, Inverness, Fraserburgh, Macduff, Glasgow, Chester, Edinburgh, and of course the London Association. We have the Officers' Dinner Club and the Baidan Dinner Club, and we will continue with all these as long as we have members to run them properly. Fourthly, we have many memorials. Here now at the National Memorial Arboretum is the latest. And it's due to the skill of Stuart Murdoch, son of the regiment. His father was my colour sergeant at one point at his wife, so he's very much a son of the regiment. And it's because of him we have a beautiful stone from the northeast, carved with love and care, and thank him so much for that. We have our excellent double statue in the centre of Aberdeen, and we're lucky to have that, and the city very kindly gave that to us. We have the sculpted regimental badge in Huntly, 2 obelisks in Duthie Park in Aberdeen, one for the fallen of Egypt in the 1880s and one for the fallen in the northwest frontier of India in the 1890s. We also have Field Marshal Sir George White, who was a VC holder, his statue near Harley Street in London, and 2 large war memorials, one in Bangor and one in Keith. These are regimental, purely for Gordon Highlanders, and they're lovely. Let alone memorials in France, Italy, India, Singapore, and Northern Ireland. And then we have our 5-star museum in Aberdeen, which we own, now in its 25th year, and recently beautifully refurbished by Colonel Charlie Sloan and his team during COVID. I can tell you, it moves me to say this, but what a debt we owe him and the team. They've done a brilliant job, and my warmest congratulations. And of course, he's now the colonel of the regiment, as he's the senior trustee. The museum is there to record our history, your history. as well as those Gordons who fought in the Napoleonic Wars, the Indian Mutiny, Northwest Frontier of India, Afghanistan, the Boer War, World War I, World War II, Malaya, Cyprus, Eoka, Borneo, Cyprus, UN, and Northern Ireland. And when your family, chaps, no longer wants your medals, your old uniform, your artifacts or photos, give them to the museum. The alternative is some Joe will appear with a black placky bag, go through your attic and chuck everything in it, and it will disappear. Well, we would look after it, and will look after it. And so that's rather important. And of course, the history of the regiment is still being found today. The latest unusual and interesting thing is Berg. And if I said hands up those who know about Berg, I think we would see perhaps 6. Berg is a small medieval walled town 8 miles south of Dunkirk. 8 miles south of Dunkirk. The Germans were desperate to take it to prevent the British getting to the beaches at Dunkirk, but it was held by a mixed force under command of Colonel Douglas Usher, the Gordon Highlanders. Doogie Usher held out for 6 days against 3 German divisions. He never surrendered it, and it was a remarkable feat which gave time to the British to reach the beaches and of course get off them to go back to the UK. It's a remarkable story, and he probably deserved a VC. He got a DSO, but if you read the story, it is extraordinary. He also, just out the other day, we discovered that one of his staff, a chap called White, Arthur White, had kept a secret diary, and White never married, well, was unmarried when he died, and his papers and belongings were sold, and a very nice man called Boyd, who was quite wealthy, knew White quite well, but didn't know that Arthur White had served in the army. And White was horrified that somebody would sell his documents. So the documents were bought, and they are actually a record of White's time with Usher in Berg. And it's absolutely fascinating. So you still find amazing things, regimental history, and we have a lovely museum to put them in. Returning to the association branches, they remain as now, so join them, use them, keep them going for as long as there are Gordons willing to run them properly. Do support the museum, visit it, donate to it. It is ours, and it's the best regimental museum in Scotland. And if you live in or near Aberdeen, become a volunteer. Many have done so, and you know, nobody's been charged for being idle. So it's not a frightening place, nor is it an officers' club. So get involved with it. Remember, whatever you do, remember you belong to a world-famous regiment, renowned for its healthy pride, its courage, its professionalism, its discipline, its humour, and its caring family approach. So do talk to your children and grandchildren about it, and about your service and the high standards that you will set. We were special, and we will always be special. Now, we may not meet again for some time, so God bless you all and your families, and thank you for your service to the regiment and for your support to me over the years. Bye, Dan.